I've never been surprised. Not when I caught Richard with his hand in my safe at 3 in the morning, not when I found the forged power of attorney tucked inside his briefcase, and certainly not tonight, watching him raise his wine glass with that smile, the one that's supposed to charm me but only makes my skin crawl. He's looking for treasure. What he doesn't know is that the treasure is the trap, and I've been weaving it for 3 years. My name is Catherine Webb. I'm 52 years old, owner of Webb Vineyards, a 100-acre estate that my grandfather built from dirt and determination. I didn't inherit softness. I inherited land, a sharp mind, and the kind of patience that can outlast a drought. I married Richard 8 months after I started suspecting him. Not because I loved him, because I needed to be certain. Tonight, I'm certain. The wine cellar is older than I am. Oak beams cross the ceiling like ribs, and the smell of fermenting grapes hangs thick enough to taste. Richard sits at the head of the table I had brought down here this morning. His 3 children flank him like gargoyles, Derek on his right, Patricia on his left, Mitchell slouching at the far end. They all wear the same expression, hunger dressed up as concern. Derek speaks first. He always does. The oldest child, the one who thinks a law degree makes him invincible. Catherine, we're worried about you. Dad says you've been forgetting things, leaving the stove on, losing your keys. I set my wineglass down slowly, watching the candlelight dance in the dark red liquid. Cabernet Sauvignon, 2019. A good year. Have I? You have, sweetheart. Richard's voice drips with false tenderness. He reaches across the table and I let him take my hand. His palm is damp. That's why we think it's time to make some changes. For your protection. Protection. The word tastes like arsenic. Patricia leans forward. She's wearing pearls tonight. Real ones. The kind she couldn't afford on a dental hygienist's salary. I know because I checked. We've drafted a new will. Something simpler, easier for you to manage. You just need to sign, and we'll take care of everything else. I look at the document Derek slides toward me. 20 pages of legal jargon that all boils down to one thing. They want my estate, the vineyards, the accounts, the mineral rights to the southern 40 acres that they don't even know I own. I pick up the pen. Mitchell straightens up. His eyes gleam. I set the pen back down. Tell me something first. This tea Richard's been making me every night, the one that's supposed to help me sleep, what's actually in it? The silence that follows has weight. It presses against my eardrums like deep water. Richard recovers quickly. He's had practice. Just chamomile and lavender, darling. Nothing to worry about. And the other thing? The one that makes my hands shake in the morning? His smile doesn't waver, but his fingers do. They tap against the table once, twice. I don't know what you mean. Benzodiazepines. Low dose. Just enough to fog my memory without knocking me out completely. You've been slipping them into my tea for 7 months now. Derek stands up so fast his chair scrapes against stone. That's a serious accusation, Catherine. Do you have any proof? I smile at him. Really smile, the kind that shows teeth. I've been spitting the tea out every night. Into the toilet, then down the drain. But I kept samples. Dated, labelled, stored in my safety deposit box at First National. The one you don't know about. Patricia's face goes white. Mitchell looks at his father, then at the door. Richard stays perfectly still. You're confused, he says quietly. The stress is... I'm not confused. I'm furious. I stand up, and the chair legs shriek against the floor. The sound echoes off the wine barrels stacked against the walls, multiplies in the darkness. I met with Joan last Tuesday. Remember Joan? Your first wife's sister? Richard's jaw tightens. Just a fraction. But I've been watching him long enough to read the micro-expressions, the tiny cracks in his mask. Joan's memory is very clear. She remembers how her sister started forgetting things too. Started leaving the stove on, started signing documents she didn't understand, started trusting you. That was different, Richard says, but his voice has changed. The honey's gone, replaced by something metallic. Was it? Because the coroner ruled it natural causes. heart failure, and 3 months later you had access to Margaret's entire estate. Funny how that worked out. Derek takes a step toward me. I don't move. You're making wild accusations based on medical records that show Margaret was prescribed the same benzodiazepines you've been feeding me. Based on witness statements from her housekeeper, who saw you making her evening tea. Based on autopsy reports that were rushed through by a coroner who retired 6 months later to a very nice beach house in the Bahamas. I watch understanding bloom on their faces. Not guilt. They're too far gone for that. Just the slow, dawning realization that they've miscalculated. I hired a private investigator 14 months ago. Cost me $40,000, but it was worth every penny. He found Margaret's housekeeper in Florida. She was happy to talk once she knew she wouldn't be talking to you. Patricia stands up now, too. Her pearls catch the light. You can't prove any of this. I can prove that Richard opened 7 credit cards in my name. I can prove that he forged my signature on a home equity loan for $200,000. I can prove that Derek here has been billing my accounts for legal services he never provided. I turn to Mitchell. And you've been really creative. Shell companies in Delaware, real estate purchases in my name. Did you really think I wouldn't notice? Mitchell's Adam's apple bobs. We're family, Richard says, and for the first time I hear something real in his voice. Desperation maybe, or fury barely leashed. After everything I've given you. Given me? You've given me nothing but lies and poison and a front row seat to your performance. You married me because you thought I was an easy mark. A lonely widow with property and no children to protect her. You thought I was Margaret. I walk around the table slowly, deliberately. They're all watching me now, tracking my movement like prey animals watching a predator circle. But I'm not Margaret. I'm the woman who built a vineyard from nothing after my husband died. I'm the woman who negotiated contracts with distributors who tried to lowball me because I was female and 50. I'm the woman who sat in board meetings with men who thought they could intimidate me and walked out with their companies. I stop in front of Richard. I'm the woman who spent 8 months documenting every single thing you did. Every lie, every forgery, every dose of benzodiazepine in my evening tea. He looks up at me, and for just a moment, the mask drops completely. What's underneath is cold and calculating, and utterly without remorse. You can't touch me. Whatever you think you have, I'll bury it. I'll bury you. No, you won't. I pull the small recording device from my pocket and set it on the table. The red light blinks steadily in the candlelight. This has been recording for 30 minutes. You just admitted to drugging me. Your children just revealed knowledge of financial fraud. And I haven't even played you the best part yet. I press play. Richard's voice fills the cellar, tinny but clear through the small speaker. Not tonight's Richard. This recording is from last week from his study, where I'd hidden 3 separate devices after he started getting sloppy about closing doors. The old bitch won't last much longer. Another 3 months of the medication, maybe 4, and we can have her declared incompetent. Then it's just a matter of power of attorney and... I stop the playback. The silence is absolute. I have 17 hours of recordings, conversations between you and your children, phone calls to your lawyer, discussions about dosage and timing and what happens to my property after I'm gone. Derek moves toward me. I don't flinch. I also have copies stored in 4 separate locations. My attorney has them. Joan has them. The district attorney has them. The DA? Patricia's voice cracks. She was very interested in the Margaret Webb case, especially after I showed her the pattern. 2 wives, both wealthy, both exhibiting signs of cognitive decline before their deaths, both leaving everything to you, Richard. Margaret died of natural causes, he says, but there's no conviction in it anymore. Maybe. But they're reopening the investigation. Exhumation orders take time, but they're coming. And while we wait, you'll be answering questions about fraud, attempted murder, and whatever else they can dig up. The door at the top of the stairs opens. Footsteps descend, multiple sets, heavy and measured. Detective Sarah Chen appears first, followed by 3 uniformed officers. "Mr. Webb, I'm going to need you to come with us." Richard doesn't move. He's staring at me like he's seeing me for the first time, and maybe he is. Maybe he's finally seeing the woman instead of the mark, the predator instead of the prey. "You set this up," he says. "All of it. The marriage, the investigation." "I protected myself, there's a difference." They put him in handcuffs. Derek tries to object, citing Miranda rights and illegal recording, but his voice sounds hollow even to him. Patricia just sits staring at her hands. Mitchell has already started edging toward the door. Detective Chen approaches me as they lead Richard upstairs. "Are you all right, Mrs. Webb?" I'm not Mrs. Webb. I haven't been for 3 years, not really, but I nod anyway. "I'm fine, just tired." She touches my shoulder briefly, professionally. "You did the right thing. We'll need your full statement tomorrow, but for tonight, you're safe." Safe. The word sounds strange. I've been so many things, angry, calculating, afraid, but safe hasn't been one of them in a very long time. After they leave, I pour myself another glass of wine, the 2019 Cabernet, the one I've been saving. I carry it upstairs through the kitchen where Richard used to brew his special tea, through the living room where his children used to sit and plan my future, out onto the balcony that overlooks 100 acres of vines. The moon is full tonight. It turns the grape leaves silver and makes shadows dance between the rows. My grandfather planted these vines with his own hands. My husband expanded them. I saved them. And now they're mine. Completely, legally, irrevocably mine. I think about Margaret sometimes. I wonder if she knew at the end what was happening to her. I wonder if she tried to fight back, or if the drugs had already stolen her ability to resist. I held Joan's hand last Tuesday and promised her that Richard would face justice. I meant it then. I mean it more now. People will say I'm cruel for deceiving my husband, for letting him think I was falling for his trap while I built my own. They'll call me paranoid, vindictive, cold. They're not wrong, but in a world full of predators, innocence is suicide. Trust is a luxury I can't afford. And love? Love is the prettiest lie of all, the one that gets you killed. I learned that from my first husband, the one who actually cared about me. He taught me how to run a vineyard, how to read people, how to protect what's mine. He died of a heart attack at 57, sudden and brutal and completely natural. No drugs, no schemes, just bad genetics and worse luck. When Richard showed up 6 months later, charming, attentive, interested in everything about me and especially about my property, I knew. Not facts, not yet. Just the deep animal instinct that says, this man is dangerous. So I watched. I waited. I let him think he was winning while I built my case brick by brick, document by document, recording by recording. And now he's gone. The wine tastes like victory, like oak and earth and the bitter satisfaction of a trap sprung perfectly, like the blood I didn't have to spill because I'm smarter than that, better than that. I'm alone now. Truly alone. Richard is gone. His children are gone, and the silence of my house is absolute. Some people would find that sad. I find it liberating. No one to lie to me. No one to drug my tea. No one to smile while they plot my destruction. Just me, my land, and the weight of everything I've protected. I raise my glass to the moon, to Margaret's memory, to Joan's tears, to every woman who trusted the wrong man and paid for it. The wine slides down smooth and warm. Tomorrow I'll give my statement to the police. Next week I'll meet with my attorney to ensure every document is airtight. Next month maybe I'll start trusting again. Or maybe not. Maybe this is who I am now. The woman who survived by being smarter, colder, more patient than the man who tried to destroy her. The woman who turned her suspicions into evidence and her fear into fury. They'll write about this probably. Local news first, then maybe something bigger. Wealthy widow exposes husband's murder plot. They'll interview my neighbours, my employees, anyone who knew Richard and me. They'll ask how I could have suspected him, married him anyway, lived with him for 3 years while gathering evidence. They won't understand, but other women will. The ones who've learned that survival isn't pretty. The ones who've discovered that sometimes you have to become the thing you're fighting just to make it through. The ones who know that in a world designed to devour you, the smartest move is to be indigestible. I finish my wine. The glass is empty, but I'm full. Full of rage that's finally found its target. Full of satisfaction that's been 3 years in the making. Full of the cold, clear certainty that I did what needed to be done. The vineyards stretch out before me, endless rows of potential, of life that will outlast me and Richard both. My grandfather used to say that good wine requires patience. You can't rush the fermentation, can't hurry the aging. You plant, you wait, you tend, and eventually you harvest. I've been patient. I've waited. I've tended my trap with the same care I give these vines. And tonight, I'm harvesting. Tomorrow there will be questions and statements, and probably more tears from Joan. There will be lawyers and investigators and people who want to know every detail of how I knew, when I knew, why I didn't report my suspicions sooner. I'll tell them the truth. I needed proof. I needed certainty. I needed to be absolutely sure that when I struck, it would be fatal. Not to Richard. I'm not a killer, despite what he tried to make me. Fatal to his plans, fatal to his schemes, fatal to his future. He's in a cell now, probably still trying to explain, to justify, to manipulate. His children are scrambling to protect themselves, to distance themselves from their father's crimes. And I'm here, on my balcony, drinking wine from grapes I own. On land that's mine, in a house that no one can take from me. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. They're wrong. Revenge is wine. It requires cultivation, patience, perfect timing. You have to know exactly when to harvest, exactly how long to age it, exactly what conditions will produce the flavour you want. And when you finally pour it, when you finally drink it down, it tastes like freedom. I turn to go inside. The house is dark except for the lights I left on in the kitchen, warm and golden through the windows. It's mine, all of it. Every room, every memory, every square foot of safety that I fought for. Some people would call this a hollow victory. They'd say that I'm alone now, that I've sacrificed love and companionship and the comfort of trusting someone. They'd be right about the alone part, but they'd be wrong about everything else. I didn't sacrifice love. I executed justice. I didn't give up companionship. I escaped a predator. And trust? Trust is what almost killed me. Trust is what killed Margaret. I'll never make that mistake again. The door closes behind me with a soft click. I lock it. Deadbolt, chain, the security system I had installed last year when I realised how serious this was. The lights glow warm in the kitchen, reflecting off the stainless steel appliances, the granite counters, the ceramic teapot that Richard used to brew his special blend. I pick up the teapot. It's cool to the touch, empty, harmless. I throw it in the trash. Then I make myself a cup of coffee, real coffee, the expensive kind. No additives, no drugs, no hidden agendas. Just dark roast and cream and the bitter comfort of knowing that every drop is exactly what it claims to be. I sit at the kitchen table, the same one where Richard used to sit across from me, smiling his practiced smile, and I think about the future, about what comes next, now that the war is over and I'm the only one left standing. I'll rebuild. I'll repair. I'll continue running my vineyard and making my wine and living my life on my own terms. And if anyone ever asks me about Richard, about the marriage that was really an investigation, about the love that was really a lie, I'll tell them the truth. I've never been surprised. Not by cruelty, not by greed, not by the depths people will sink to when they want something badly enough. I've only ever been prepared. And preparation, it turns out, is the vintage I poured for myself, the one that saved my life.